Hi everyone. Today I wanted to share my approach to creating a custom parametric gem cutter. You can see here that I have a gem cutter. I created this just by coming up here and using the gem cutter command. It's a great command, super flexible, and you can change a ton of the parameters, but one thing I run into on occasion, especially with something, shaped like this, is that I just want a little more control over this bottom profile. Um, and of course, I can select this and then I can just kind of drag it if I need it to be further from the bezel, but as you can see, that will break parametric history, and I don't like that. So I wanted to find a way to create a gem cutter with flexibility in the bottom profile that's really easy to make and easy to update and just use generally. So I'm going to just back out of this. Okay. So actually, I don't even need this. So I'm going to just delete this for now. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is to create a gem, and I'm just going to create that gem right in the center, and then I'm going to build my cutter around it and use oriented gem to orient it to this stone. So I'm going to create a gem, and the size doesn't really matter. This is fine, so I'm just going to right click to accept that. And now I want to now I want to tie these two gems together. I want them to be the same, and I want them to have a relationship. So I'm going to use proxy gem, and I'm going to select this as my base gem, and then this as select gems, and then I'm going to right click. So now this stone will update if I change the size or the type of stone. It will update accordingly. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create some curves, and then I'm going to use a loft to make that gem cutter shape. So I'm going to use gem offset curve for the girdle. This is fine. And now I'm going to come up here to curve and use offset. And I'm going to select my gem offset curve, and I'm going to make the distance 0, and I'm going to rename this since I'm going to be making 2 of these top. And then I'm just going to bring it up to some arbitrary point. Doesn't really matter. That looks good. Now I'm going to right click to run that again. I'm going to select the offset curve again, but this time I'm going to bring it down to create my seat profile. So this is fine. Again, can continue changing this as you need. And I'm just going to rename this seat. Okay. And for the fourth profile, I already created some curves. They're here on my light green layer. And this is just an example of the kind of curves you can use. I could go round, or I could make it a fancier shape. But I'm just going to use a regular rhino curve for this because I want to be able to edit it and move it around with the gumball without breaking parametric history. So I think I'm going to go with this star, and I'm going to make a copy of it. So I'm going to hold Alt and drag it, and then I'm going to just use Control Alt C to bring it to the center. I'm going to change its layer. I'm going to turn these off. But now I'm just going to bring it down, like, I don't know, like this. Oh, oops. Okay. All right, that looks good. So now I'm going to just come up here to Surface and Parametric Loft, and I'm going to grab these curves just in order. 3, 4, and I'm going to change the loft to straight. That looks fine. And then I'm going to use cap to cap this. Okay, so now I have my gem cutter, and I'm going to come back here to Gems, Orient to Gem, and I'm going to select this as my base gem and this as my object. I'm going to right click and then my target gem. Okay, and so obviously you can see I'm having the same issue I was trying to fix here, but what's nice now is that you can just grab this curve and you can just pull it and size it. You can bring it up, you can turn the points on and even change the control points. Okay, but that's pretty much it. And then, you know, you can keep this, you can keep both of these on a different layer. So you could just grab this and put this here, and then maybe you can keep this. I usually keep things like this on light green. Okay. And now what I'll do is just grab this and this, and I'm going to use a mirror, and I'll just mirror this across, and then use Boolean difference. Okay, so that kind of resolves that issue of, you know, just maybe needing to scooch this away from a bezel, or, you know, for whatever reason, if the angle of the cutter is not quite right. And the cool thing is that this even is something that you can change the size. Here, let's just bring it back for a second. Actually, I'm going to put it here instead. You can change the size of the stone or the placement of the stone, and it all remains, you know, parametric. But the other thing you can do is change the type of stone. So let's just change it to a pair. Okay, so you can see that it's kind of maintaining, trying to anyway, but obviously we need to just change the way this is oriented. And then maybe we'll slide it down a little bit. Okay, and you can see that the way that this bottom profile is orienting to the stone is different with a different shape, but that's pretty easy too. All you have to do is just grab it, and then I'm just using Control-Alt-C to bring it to the center, and then bring it down, and then, you know, move it in the direction that is the appropriate one for the stone. So that's easy enough to fix. And then, you know, you can also play around with changing the type of cut, you know, the type of shape underneath, just by having a variety of curves you can sub in and out. So anyway, that's it. I hope that that is maybe helpful, and thanks for watching.